Hey everybody, Marshall123X here, and welcome back to my weekly podcast for the new season of Samurai Jack. Today we'll be discussing the events of episode 2. Once again, I am joined by my good friend, TheGeckoNinja.
Hello.
And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and discuss this week's episode. And then you want to start off with, before we go into more detail, Gecko?
No, just start the episode.
Straight into the point, I like that. So, this episode became like night and day real fucking quick. It started off way different than how it finished. But it started off, we finally get to see Aku, and we see he's pretty much his same old self, aside from the fact that he seems to be...
I thought it was funny he was still kind of goofy.
Yeah, he's the same old self for the most part, but he's going a little crazy too, in terms of like, he didn't expect Samurai Jack to be
immortal,
to live this long and to not age.
He's like, well, first, he wakes up all like, I gotta get up, stretch, gotta put on my my flaming eyebrows.
Yeah, I gotta put my eyebrows on. I thought that was so fucking funny. He had to put his eyebrows on, and then he gets up with like a little stretching regiment and shit. And I'm like, man, I can't believe an interdimensional demon needs fucking sleep, but okay.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. But it's part of the humor, I guess.
Right. I think it's more of setting the tone of the humor.
Yeah. But so he wakes up, he stretches, puts his eyebrows on, and then there's like a intercom or something like that, just like letting them know, hey, there's some people who are giving you some offerings. And he's like, ugh.
Yeah.
So basically rises up to the
out of his
the cliff.
Pit. Out of his little pit.
Yeah, out of his little pit. Some mud people, like actual people looks like they're made of mud.
Made of melting
they were like
ice
groveling
cream.
to him.
They're made out of melting ice cream.
Is that what they are?
I don't know. That's what they look like to me.
Well, they look like they're just like mud, just like
like muck.
And they're groveling to him, saying like, "We made you like an offering, a powerful one," and stuff like that, because they're scared of him.
Right, of course.
And it just looks like a statue the statue of Aku made of mud. And he's like, "What are you doing? You're tripping all over my floor. I just had it dry cleaned or whatever.
I just had that vacuum.
Get out!" And then he has some scientists come in, and they're like, "We just had a breakthrough of a new
beetle robot,
new beetle robot." And he's like, "And why should I care?" He's like,
yeah.
And they're like, "Well, it's to defeat Samurai Jack, the guy you've been wanting to destroy for 50 years." He's like, "Oh, that guy, who cares?
Right.
I destroyed all the portals. He's just wandering around. He's a crazy fool wandering around.
Out of his mind.
If you want to destroy him, go ahead. I don't care.
Right.
He's no threat to me." And then he like goes back down his.
I don't care at all. As he sinks back
I don't
into
care.
And then he sinks down to him counseling himself.
Yeah, there's like a second Aku in a psychiatrist outfit.
And he's sitting in a chair.
He's sitting on the couch. He's laying on the couch talking about the issues, and he's like, he explains that he destroyed the portals, and he thought he just waited out. He thought he just waited for Jack to get old and die.
Yeah.
Apparently that wasn't the case.
Nope.
And I like the little jab at like the safe space joke. He's like, "Do not say his name. This is a safe space."
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you've ever been.
Funny.
I don't know if you've ever been to psychiatry, but they do that actually.
I know it is.
Yeah, but still, it's funny. Yeah. It's funny how like.
And then they got triggered by.
Right.
Yeah.
That whole conversation had me laughing.
Hopefully, someone will get rid of his problem.
Right, and you notice like they said that like they made a new version of the beetle robot, and it's like. It's just a bigger version of the first ones. It's like literally
It looks like a giant tick.
Yeah, it's just like a giant fucking swollen tick. But still, and then that's like the episode goes from like a pretty funny tone to like a very like neutral tone. We see like a lot of obviously, I mean, they made this kind of obvious, but the wolf was obviously supposed to be like a symbolism for Jack.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was supposed to be a. Yeah, there was a white wolf walking up, through the woods, walking the same path similar to Jack, where
Right.
he comes across a fork road.
Right.
There's a split, left to right. The wolf seems like is very serious, and he takes the left road.
Right.
Jack's riding in his motorcycle down a path. He takes the left
Right.
path. Then then the wolf comes across these big giant like saber-toothed tiger
big like
creatures.
cat creatures, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like way bigger than him, and like so there's this showdown between them, and
Right.
and then it cuts back to Jack, where
he runs into the sisters of Aku or the daughters of Aku.
yeah, he runs into them, and they're kicking his ass
Oh my god!
at the beginning. I was like,
well,
they were quick to where he could not see who they were. They were just like,
yeah, he was
like,
swinging
running
in the
past
air.
them, like,
He was like
yeah, he's
blindly
actually swinging and
in the
missing,
air.
like he could. Yeah, like he couldn't hit them at
Well,
all,
and what sucks is-
he couldn't see who they were.
Right.
They were moving like the Flash, basically.
Right. Well, they were just attacking in
fast.
so many directions that he just started
Yeah, to
swinging
the point where
wildly.
he was getting desperate. Yeah, he was getting desperate to where he
I'm
was
just
shooting
gonna
his gun off.
swing. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, but
I did think
then he got desperate to where he took out his machine gun
Yeah,
His
the
Gatling
one.
gun.
Yeah, the one that we see
and
from
just
the
shot in
trailer.
a full circle,
Yeah.
trying to hit whatever he can.
Levels the
and
forest
then-
around him.
Yeah, and then he takes out his I guess he had like a belt full of explosives.
Yeah, he had a
He just
belt of
takes it and
grenades. Yeah.
Detonates it, throws it behind him, and explodes. He runs for cover, and he's hiding.
hmm
Oh, before this happened, the beetle showed up.
Right,
Before all
right.
this
Yeah,
happened, the beetle showed up.
that's what I was trying to get at. The beetle showed up, and he literally dispatches it about as fast as he does.
Yeah, he
any
just
other
threw
robot.
his spear right through it.
Right.
Apparently, the
Um,
spear can rotate. and
Yeah, like
go right
swivels.
through it.
Yeah, it spins like a drill.
Yeah.
Did you
So
notice?
he destroyed the beetle
Yeah.
before all this happened.
Yeah. Did you notice that when he got thrown from his bike, he was actually like what I like is like during these scenes we kind of see like the old Jack kind of come
Oh,
to
like
the
how
surface.
fast? Oh yeah.
And he kind of he
Uh,
took in his surroundings as he was flying through the air, like looking sharply around. And I'm like, that really and like
Yeah.
we see a few things throughout
Yeah,
this
hold
episode.
on. So it was after he defeated the beetle. All he did
Yes.
was throw the spear right through it, and it
Yeah,
exploded.
yeah.
Right. He's back on his bike. He's riding, and then suddenly there's this string
Yeah.
or like wire
Razor
that-
wire across
that
the
he
road.
barely caught before it he ran over it and like it destroyed his bike and he flew into the air, right?
Mhm.
And while he's in the middle of the air, time slows down and you can see his eyes looking in every direction, like
Right.
who did this, and he's looking throughout the forest while he's in the air. In the split second, he's scanning the area
Mhm.
and nothing's there, and then before time goes back in, he spins in the air and lands on his feet.
Mhm.
Suddenly, that's when the assassins attack.
Right, that's when the
they-
daughters attack. Yeah.
Yeah, so after all that we explained before, and then he throws the explosives and runs off, he ducks under the beetle's like wreckage,
Right, and
under like a shell.
Yeah, well, yeah, but there's what I really wanted to point out at this part. When the daughters were attacking, you saw like bits and pieces of his armor were being ripped off and stuff, and I think they were.
Oh yeah, they were just
they were,
demolishing.
well,
him.
they were obviously doing that on purpose because the armor is part of his arsenal. But now in
Yeah.
this scene, he hides underneath the beetle, and he has like this inner dialogue with himself. And what it is he basically has this hallucination of himself yelling at himself. His sort of like his old.
It seems like it's his inner thoughts.
Yeah, it's what it
It's
is.
him.
It's an inner dialogue, and basically, he's just saying what we already know. Jack, he's tired. He doesn't want to fight anymore. He just wants to die.
He's actually been contemplating suicide.
Yes, yeah.
because he has no. He's saying to himself he has no reason
Honor,
to
yeah.
go on.
Well, not only he has
All
no
the-
honor.
all
yeah.
the portals are destroyed. There's no fight for honor. He's like, how long can you keep fighting
Right.
for like? Because his inner self tells him they're just gonna keep coming after you, and he's like, but he argues back. He's like, no matter what, I always find a way.
Yeah, he's like, it seems bad at first, but I always find a way.
Yeah.
But also,
I was like, man, this is a dark tone because he's actually been contemplating suicide
well,
because he seems like there's no way back.
Well, he is a samurai, so like that's one way they.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he feels like there's no fight and honor.
Yeah, there's no way to.
I mean, there's no honor. He's actually saying the most honor. His inner self was actually saying the most honorable thing you can do is, and then he interrupts him and saying no.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's
what he's saying is the honorable thing to do is kill yourself.
Yeah, to commit seppuku or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I thought that was really that was
harakiri.
Yeah, harakiri. Well, I think harakiri. Now I'm getting off topic real quick. Harakiri is where you commit it in front of your enemy. Seppuku, I think, is when you do it by yourself.
Oh, I think. I just got it from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I think. Well, maybe I got it backwards. I think seppuku.
Maybe it's a dishonorable. Maybe it's a.
Well,
like if you dishonor yourself, you kill yourself.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, one of them.
Seppuku is like an honorable.
Well, seppuku is where you're basically, I think, you're asking for forgiveness from your enemy, or from the person, and that's why you do it in front of them, because they are given the choice to either let you bleed out a painful death or chop off your head and give you a quick death. And harakiri or one of the
regardless of that,
yeah,
he's contemplating suicide, saying it's honorable. Your ancestors are waiting for you. You know.
Yeah, and that may be who that fucking samurai is that keeps that guy on the horseback. Who keeps appearing in his like these dream sequences he has? Maybe it's like I think it's his fear. I think it's his fear or whatever of the future. It looks
like a goal, like he's trying to find it. Apparently, also, we find out. Apparently, Aku does not know that he lost his sword. Nope. So,
as far as we know,
well, he says Aku does not know that I don't have the sword anymore.
Right.
So apparently, this fight he had, where you see him lose a sword. Yeah. Apparently it wasn't with Aku. He just lost it somehow.
Yeah. He must have been something like that.
And his inner self was saying like, well, you don't have the sword anymore. And he's like, I've been doing fine without it.
Have you?
Like, how long can that last and stuff?
Right. It's like, well, look at him. Has he been doing fine?
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, he's still resorted to like using more weapons than he needs.
Yeah, he expanded
his
arsenal.
When I read up about his sword, the fact that like I was looking up at like what its abilities, and it's unbreakable and it can cut through anything as long as there's enough force behind it. Yeah. And that's why I think he never had armor, because he never needed armor, because he had basically the sword as the armor, because he was fast enough to block anything, so he didn't need armor.
Right. Well,
he had a sword that was basically unbreakable armor. Yeah. So because every time he blocked with the sword, it protected him.
Right. Yeah, I think that.
But now he doesn't have that, so he needs armor.
Well, I think the sword was also like, kind of like his security blanket. Now that it's gone, I think
it pretty much was.
Yeah, I feel like
because it was unbreakable.
Well, right, and I feel like he felt vulnerable once that sword was gone, which is why he started using other weapons and started donning armor and everything else. But the next point I wanted to point out was, afterwards, he hides underneath the beetle, has the inner dialogue, and then he decides that he's going to make a run for it to the next area. When he goes to run, now this is the thing I wanted to point out. When the daughters first attacked him, they pretty much got all of his major parts of his armor off, including his boots. He gets knocked clean out of his boots. Okay? Mm-hmm. But when he takes off running, he is wearing them goddamn boots again. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I saw he's wearing like his shoes.
So they run for a while. There's a running sequence. And then...
Well, it's a slow-mo of like right when he bolts out of the... out of the wreckage.
It's a slow-mo.
It slows down, and basically what he's doing is just listening. He's doing that thing he did in that episode about the blind archers.
Right, and
he's closing his eyes. He's listening to everything around him. He can hear the rain hitting the leaves, the ground, and he's listening for the footsteps of the assassins.
His super focus thing is what he's doing.
Yeah, super focus.
Yeah,
and he was able to hear their footsteps, and in slow-mo, he's looking. You can see his eyes looking behind him. And he gets a glimpse of them. He sees the masks.
Yeah, and I think through the vibrations of the sound and stuff like that, he's able to judge how many people are there, how many people are chasing him.
Yeah, so now he knows who's chasing him.
Right.
Oh, also he thinks these are robots too when he was having that inner
Yeah,
dialogue with them.
yeah, oh yeah. That's the thing. Is he thinks these enemies are robots, so he feels like he can deal with them the same way he does with any robot that has come
Yeah,
after
so he
him.
doesn't know that these are people.
Not yet. Anyway,
Yeah, he
but
doesn't. Yeah.
so then he hides in a
So
temple.
when he looks and finds out that they're like these female assassins, apparently he thinks they're robots.
Mhm.
And so he runs into this temple,
Mhm.
and
This big, huge
this temple is like big labyrinth, dark,
dank.
and so they're all it's dark. There's a like big labyrinth where it's like bunch of dark turns and
A bunch of
hallways and stuff
dead
like that.
ends and dark corridors, leaky
Yeah,
ceilings.
so there's seven of the assassins. They're all looking through there. There's like underwater sections. There's climbing through plants that break through.
vines, vines and
uh,
stuff that have grown up through the floor.
So they're all looking for him. Each one dead. They find a dead end.
Mhm.
Then they all decide we're all gonna hide in the shadows and wait for him.
Yeah, this is a good place for an ambush because he's obviously still in the area. So
Yeah, this episode I gotta say is my favorite out of any Samurai Jack episode
Oh,
because of
yeah.
the tension is so thick in this episode, and it's just like
mhm.
it's quiet. There's no dialogue at this. Pretty much the rest of this episode is most of it is just
Yep.
tension.
It's all spoken through the actions of the characters. Like there doesn't need to
Yeah.
be any dialogue.
So
I
after
will-
each assassin realizes, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say every assassin they kind of tuck themselves into the shadows and wait for the
Yeah, they
ambush.
realize let's wait for him. Yeah, so
Turns
they all
out-
they shows each of them just going into a shadow and hiding.
Yeah,
They wait for Samurai. They wait for Jack to come out.
Yeah, he turns out he was in
Hiding
the
in
entrance. He was in
Crack
the
on the
entrance.
ceiling.
Yeah, he was in a crack in the ceiling. And guess what? He's
It
fucking,
actually shows how thin the crack is. He's like
yeah,
upside down in the ceiling, in a crack of in the ceiling.
Yeah, at the
and he was able to
beginning.
hide in that.
Yeah, and guess what? He's
And
barefoot
I was like,
again.
damn, dude.
He's barefoot again.
Yeah, he's barefoot this time.
So,
Well, I would be barefoot too because I think he needs to be quiet.
Well, I feel like the barefootedness was probably to help him grip the rocks, maybe. The
Oh, maybe, but also he needs to be quiet.
Well, I mean, you could hear his feet hitting the ground like duck feet. So when he was walking,
Well, imagine if he was wearing metal boots.
yeah, that's true. So
Yeah.
basically, and then Jack, thinking the coast is clear, kind of starts navigating the labyrinthian area.
He's trying to be
Even
quiet.
though realistically he should have just went out the front door, and just left. Because they ran right past him. He could have just dropped down, like went back out the front entrance and went and hid somewhere else, like in the woods or something. But instead he
Well,
went.
he doesn't know where they're at. For all he knows, they were waiting out, and like someone was waiting out in the front exit.
Yeah. But,
He
well,
was trying
yeah.
to be smart, I guess.
I guess, but I don't know.
For him, he's just like, I mean, the exit would be the obvious way out, and I'm pretty sure he knew that. Like one of them probably would watch the exit.
You think one of them would have too? So. As smart as they are,
But he doesn't know that. I think it was a smart move because I would think no, they're expecting me to leave out the front door.
Yeah, maybe they could be out there waiting. Yeah, you're right. But so
Yeah.
basically, the next sequence is really cool because he goes from room to room and pretty much gets perfectly ambushed. They don't succeed in capturing.
Well, he goes into this. He goes into this pitch black
yeah,
hallway.
yeah, and he goes into that room with the firefly.
And it has these green fireflies that kind of like illuminate like a small section of the screen
Well, as
for
the-
for a second.
Yeah, it's like a pitch
And
black
then-
aside from the circle of like green light that we see from the fireflies.
Yeah.
It lets us see very limited. And he's walking in this dark room, and then all of a sudden the fireflies like going on and off, and then it goes on once, and we just see one of the assassins behind rearing back her
Right
sword.
behind us.
Yeah, and he parries it, and then we start seeing these like sparks that go off that illuminate.
Yeah, because apparently the sparks of like metal clashing when
Yeah.
they're like trying to attack.
well, and that was also
Give an
another throwback.
illumination. Give kind of like a white outline illumination.
Yeah, it basically gives like negative, like everything's a negative picture of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's another throwback to the fact that Jack uses sounds to fully
Yeah,
map out where
he's
his
really
enemy
good at
is.
like fighting and yeah, he's good at fighting in without sight. So.
Right, and I think that's like a visual representation for us how Jack is seeing the situation.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I like how they did it.
And this is where it got really intense.
Yeah, it just like it went from.
He's running.
Go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
he's fighting these people. Then he runs into this area with a lot of
Big mausoleum.
tombs.
Yeah, it's big mausoleum.
Yeah, mausoleum, and apparently the middle has like this dead warlord or something like that.
Oh
just sitting
yeah,
there
and he was he takes refuge in one of the caskets, one of the stone caskets,
and there's like a bunch of caskets. It's just like a big area full of like these stone tomb caskets or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like
hiding in one of them.
Yeah, it's literally like this room was full of at least 100 caskets, you know, and he was hiding.
And they're all
one.
spread out looking for him.
Yeah,
and I don't know how they knew where he was in that one, but like they were slowly. It was just, like the tension was building because Jack was hiding in one, but there was one little firefly that was in there.
Yeah,
and his light was illuminating, and then it started to go dimmer, and the assassins were drawing closer, and it kept going back to him close to his face, where he was just like he's scared out of his mind.
Right? Yeah, he's like freaking
he's clutching
out.
his knife,
his sword,
and
the sword he found.
Yeah, sword. Yeah,
but that was a really well done segment where he's just like in this casket.
They knew how to pace. They knew how to pace the episode.
Yeah, and the music, the music was really fucking good, and just in that scene alone, like where they're just looking through the mausoleum and stuff like that, and he's hiding inside one of the caskets. We don't even know which casket he's in at this point, and he's just staring up at the firefly, you know, and like focusing on this firefly. And it's just like it was like to see Jack so afraid was actually kind of haunting. You know what I'm saying? To see him
because he was being hunted by 7 assassins who, or pretty much his match.
Right. Pretty much can match him.
And there's 7 of them.
Yeah.
And he's doing all he can to survive, and they're all like closing in on like the casket that he's in.
I just feel like the animation.
I don't know how they were able to find.
The animation and like the set design and everything else like that for the series was really showcased very well in that scene, and the music was just really good. The music really like captivated me. It was awesome. Like I really liked it, and I was like, man, this is what we it's that they're recreating it how it felt back in the day. Maybe not it wasn't quite as like high quality as this, but it felt like that to us when we were watching it. 10 years ago. And I feel like they're doing a pretty good job recapturing that same essence and taking it even farther. That's just the one thing I was like, I really like this scene. Like, I could watch this scene twice, you know what I'm saying, and feel like I take something different away from it every time. Then they find him. They do find him, and he narrowly escapes. I don't know how.
They all like. At the last second, they all smash their weapons onto this casket, but he jumps out at the last second.
Yeah, he jumps good. He did a jump good, and
he just leaped out of it.
Yeah,
out of the casket and like.
Go ahead.
So he runs out of that mausoleum. They're all chasing him. I think one of the assassins catches up to him. I think.
Yeah.
And he's fighting her, and she's the one that had his the sword that he got from the
his tuning
assassin
fork.
From the first episode.
His tuning blade.
Yeah, the tuning fork blade. He fights her, and then he slices her throat.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have a fight, and he was able to grab the knife and slice her throat.
Yeah,
I was like, holy shit! They actually showed him. They actually. She got a knife and like jammed him in the gut with it.
That was.
But he sliced her throat and killed her.
Oh yeah.
And I think he was surprised because there was blood coming out of her.
Yeah, he was surprised. He didn't know they were human. So now he's kind of.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
So her mask broke off and showed her, she was a person.
Yeah, he headbutted that mask.
Surprised him.
He headbutted that mask.
Yeah,
like,
he
boom.
did. But this surprised him when he found out she was human, because I think that's when you could tell he was just like, oh shit, I killed someone.
Right. I don't. I mean, I think it's. I
didn't expect him to slice her throat, dude. I thought her head was gonna come right off.
Yeah, it's like he thought it was a robot.
Yeah. But I mean, the fact that they depicted that in a show that didn't used to be like violent like that, and I think it's cool that they're actually getting.
It was always violent. They just never showed blood, and I think it's good that they're actually coming. It's realistic that he would face some sort of human being or some sort of organic being and there would be some kind of internal struggle. But I feel like after 50 years, I don't feel like there should be an internal struggle for him killing somebody.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't seem like that shocked. I mean, he was just like, "Oh shit, I killed someone." But
fuck, she's dead.
I think he's already He's hard-willed at that point where he had to get over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
And,
he got over it pretty quickly. I mean, he didn't have much of a choice either. But
so he found that out. The knife is in his side,
and he's bleeding profusely, like bad.
Yeah, he's up against the wall, and he can hear them. He can hear the other assassins coming.
Yeah.
And
there's an exit.
He killed one of their sisters.
Yeah, there's an exit not too far down the corridor. It's like literally.
So he's
right
struggling
outside.
to walk. Yeah, he's struggling to walk towards the exit. He's smearing blood all over the wall because he could barely walk with it.
Right.
And he takes a tuning fork and just taps the walls because he knows he's gonna have to try and break the exit. Block the exit when he leaves. There's a river at the bottom of this exit. So yeah, he had to choose, I think he just passed out at that point.
Yeah. Well, I think that he thought
when
the
exit, things exploded, the walls exploded.
I think he thought the exit was an actual exit, and that's why he was doing the tuning fork thing. But then when he got to the edge and realized that it was just a giant drop off into a river, he was like, "All right, I'm done." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it looked like he just like, oh well.
This is as far as I can go. I'm tired. And he literally passes out and falls off the edge into the river. And the last thing we see is his body floating down the river with a giant
there's a big stream of blood.
Yeah,
in
big
the river.
stream of blood. I mean, obviously it's gonna look like there's more blood than there really is because blood floats on water and it'll spread out. But still, things are not looking good for old Jack. The episode ends at that.
So
moment.
after that scene, we cut back to the wolf.
Oh we did.
So before the wolf came upon these three, he got ambushed by a bunch of saber-tooth tiger-looking creatures, and so it came down to a fight, and he was biting. The wolf was biting the tigers. The tigers were biting him. The tigers are bigger than him, so they actually showed saber-tooth tiger bite down on the body of the wolf and throw him, and there was blood
everywhere.
But when Jack fell into the river and stuff and was bleeding everywhere, it cuts back to the wolf, the fight scene with the wolf and the saber-tooth tigers.
Yeah,
they're all dead.
All four.
So it was kind of like the wolf, the saber-tooth tigers, they're all dead. Actually showed them pile of blood and torn up and everything.
Yeah, the tigers are dead, but the wolf is. I
think the wolf is dead too.
Yeah,
I think that's what I was trying to get. That it was
symbolism.
Fight to the death, and it was a symbolism of fight to the death, where everyone died.
Right.
And that's how it ended.
Well, yeah, but not everybody died, But I think it was just symbolism for I think it's symbolism, obviously, for Jack's struggle,
Yeah.
These
assassins are were giving Jack a run for his money when it came to testing his skills.
Oh yeah, well, and his skills probably aren't quite as sharp as they used to be either because he's.
No, he had 50 years to hone them.
Well,
and he used them.
He hasn't been honing them really. He's been using like firearms and whatnot. Maybe he has. He took out the Scat Man pretty quickly.
No, the firearms are just part of the arsenal that he learned.
Yeah,
to use.
I forgot.
It's learning how to use a bow.
The Scat Man video or the Scat Man fight was pretty good. He dispatched.
Well, he's been fighting for 50 years, so it's not like he hasn't been honing his skills. He's been fighting basically his entire life, even for the last 50 years where he hasn't aged.
Yeah, I mean
So I think this was a testament of his survival skills and his fighting skills.
Oh,
these assassins put him to the test basically.
Yeah, pushed his limits.
He really got out alive.
Right.
Barely got out alive is the key word here.
Yeah. Pushed his limits, and he definitely did not. He did not come out.
I mean, it looks like he died, but we know.
We know he didn't. We know there's 3 more episodes in the season, so.
Only 3?
Yeah, I think they're only doing.
How many episodes are they planning?
I think they're only doing 5. I think they're doing these.
Damn, dude.
I think they're doing 4 regular.
Will they make more if the view count is super high?
Maybe. I don't know. I would assume not. I think they're just trying to make a satisfactory ending to the series. I honestly,
Yeah, I'd be fine with that if they're like gonna try and make like end the series in a
if they do it
good
right,
climactic way.
if they do it right,
Yeah.
man, I don't mind. Saying goodbye to Jack. I did it.
Makes sense because
Yeah.
wanted to end it. It got like canceled.
Right. Well, we already said bye to
After the
Jack
first-
once, so it's not gonna be a surprise if he
Yeah.
leaves again. So, but other than that, it was a great episode. I suggest you guys
Yeah,
go.
it was my favorite. It was really intense and
Out of
longest time where I felt like it was the only time I felt like it was where I felt like there's a very dramatic, tension-filled fight where you're like, how's Jack gonna get out of this? Was the fight with those ninja robots he had, where his sword could not cut them.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, man, he's actually. It seems like getting assassins to all fight him at once that are like extremely skilled in killing, and not just like a bunch of mercenaries or whatever.
Right. Not a bunch of.
We're talking about real assassins, you know,
Yeah. Well, experience
that were
counts.
trained.
You can't recreate that in a laboratory, plain and simple. You need people who actually know
those are
how to
those-
kill.
Well, it seems like ninjas, highly skilled ninjas, are the kind that like
Shinobi.
give Jack a run for his money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's basically what these daughters of Aku are. They're a
So now
shadow
they're down to
assassin.
6
Yep.
because he killed one of.
Yep. He
And they're
mutilated
gonna
one.
want his blood now because he killed one of their sisters.
Well, no, because remember that's just means she was too weak. And I guarantee that's what they're all. I guarantee like 5 of them are gonna say that, but the one main sister, the one that was kind of focused on, is probably gonna like feel a little bit of something for her. And
Yeah, probably.
she's gonna be the one who joins Jack. Like I said, all the other sisters are gonna get killed. and
Yes, we think.
maybe. But other than that, like I
But
said,
yeah, that's
great. That was the gist of the whole episode. It was really good. Best one so far out of the entire series. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, that's it.
Yep, it was. Just a really good episode. If you guys, if we left anything out, go ahead and let us know in the comments below, guys. We would love to hear your opinion on the whole episode. Whether you agree with us or not, we want to hear about it. Don't forget to check out Gecko's stuff, the Guide to Gamers Play, and his social media, his corresponding social media sites, and that's about it. Don't forget to like, comment, favorite, share, and subscribe.
Share this video.
Share this video with everybody, especially if you hate them. Just like, hey, watch this. But other than that, guys, I'm rambling. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll, of course, see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.